This riding area is pretty special because it's totally open. You can go anywhere your machine can take you. That's very, very unique. Everywhere else I've ever ridden, you must stay on designated trails. Here, free for all. Pretty cool. What's really cool is when you pick out something in the distance on the horizon, like, I want to go to that mountain. And then you just figure out your route to that mountain and you do it. It's pretty cool. The dirt's real soft and floaty. It's better with some rain, but that happens like 3 days a year. I want to try to get over there and find some Joshua trees. Let's go ride. So I do not have my moto gear with me on this trip. So I am just going to be approximating with mountain bike gear.
So I just bought this DRZ400s street legal dual sport motorcycle a few weeks prior to filming this video. The bike has 26,000 miles on it and it wasn't super expensive.
So I saw tons of Joshua trees up over there. Let's see if I can get over there. Oh, this is a big heavy bike for a steep loose hill like this. This is great. I neglected to do my cornering drills at camp, so I'm not dialed either. I wanted to ride. I haven't ridden a motorcycle in a little while.
As far as I can tell, this bike has stock suspension. It definitely has not been lowered, and it can get through about 1 or 2 whoops, but then it starts to get a little overtasked. I think it could be necessary to do a softer spring and revalve the suspension to actually be more open. I'm 170 pounds for reference. Oh, what's this? Yes, it's some railroad tracks, which you gotta be careful of, but look at that, there's a turn track nestled in here. If there's anything I love on a dirt bike, it's learning how to ride it a little bit better, and nothing does that more, for me at least, than a good turn track. These turns are pretty decent, pretty soft, not a whole lot of hard pack to grip into, and I have to figure out where to put myself on this DRZ. I can weight the gas tank and the front wheel, or I can sit really far back on the seat and try to weight the rear wheel and steer a bit more with the throttle. Oh, almost went down right there. But you see, I don't know the right technique for this bike, and it's so heavy and so underpowered, I don't know if I ever really figured it out, looking back at all this hindsight. I started to feel a little bit better on this turn track, but still, running street tires front and rear, having not yet even laid this bike over yet, I had a lot more to learn, and you know, this is kind of a tough track. I'd like to come back on a dirt bike one day and really experience it, but that would actually be a tad less fun. Damage back here. I've got a loose nut and a bent seat bolt. Holy cow, that thing's mega bent. And then I lost the one on the left because the frame stripped out. I gotta tap that. I'm gonna ditch this silly rack until I can get the appropriate subframe. The license plate is just haggard. I'll leave that because this is a rounded edge for the tire to hit, so it won't destroy it all the way. It smells like burning. The bike sounds fantastic. Didn't want to ride this bike off-road, and here I am riding it off-road. Gotta chill out. This is not a trail bike. This is a going to the library bike. I missed this fellow's name, but here and there in the desert, you meet some pretty cool people, and I had to change GoPro batteries, and somehow it put itself in a time-lapse mode. I didn't get this guy's name. I did meet his dog, and he was super chill, Ridgecrest local. Anywhere I go, I pull out my handy Trail Forks app and check for mountain bike trails. In this case, it said there was some stuff just north of camp. Not just some stuff, but about a half dozen trails of various ratings, so I figured I'd make it my mission to go see if they exist. All right, we might find Yeah, I don't know where my van is. It's like somewhere off that road on the right. I think I'm actually going towards that train. Hoping it moves. Come on, train. You can do it. Little engine that good. This is rad. Random truck, dude walking his dog, guys on the peak. I just saw a dude drop down that. So I think there's mountain bike trails on that hill right in front of me. Probably just dirt bike trails that people have been riding bicycles on. This is called exploring. On my left is 395, runs up there. Oh, hey, this is the trailhead. The good trail would be further north. Let's keep exploring. Ooh, that's a really pretty rock formation. Nice. All right, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm dropping in on this real steep hill on this real heavy motorcycle, 26,000 miles. Oh, this is gonna be gnarly. All right, 2 fingers on that front brake. I cannot narrate while I ride on a motorcycle. It's very technical here, and I am not a very good motorcycle rider. Saying goes, mountain bikes build you up, motorcycles break you down.
Honestly, I was having a little deja vu of snow biking in Whistler in this section of desert.
That was cool. I think this little girl's got it. Oh, there is a mine shaft.
Now this downhill is actually steeper than that one we just did, but the one we just did was the first time I'd ever gone down something kind of that caliber, so I felt a little bit better on this one. Also, it had fewer giant loose rocks in it.
Is it a mine?
Yeah.
Cool. Whoa, don't fall down there. Holy cow. Ah, it goes way down. You could totally go further. I'm not going to. That's awesome. Try not to drop my cell phone into either of these pits. Have fun.
While climbing up the pretty loose, pretty steep hill to get here wasn't really that bad, actually turning around in the loose rocks with the tall, heavy, and kind of awkward motorcycle was somewhat more challenging.
Not too steep. This bike eats pretty good on the loose stuff though. It just digs Glad that's not a 300-foot deep hole. Found those before, and they're scary. I think that next valley over is Horsepower Hill. I think that's my spot to do some more hill climbs. Bunch of garbage. Man, I wish this wasn't flopping so bad. My bolt fell off. Truth be told, I had no idea a DRZ400 could be ridden on trails like this. I thought this bike was for like going to the library, getting your groceries, going to the farmer's market, commuting to your job, that sort of thing. I'm surprised the DRZs don't come stock with a milk crate in back. They really should. Maybe I'll pitch that to Suzuki. North-facing slopes. Going down the hills on this thing is a little sketchy. I think it's the weight, it's also the tires, the geometry, and the rider.
I went down to first gear. I'm running a 15:47 gear ratio on this bike, which is a little bit taller than the stock. I'm excited to try a 14:47 soon here. Yes, the DRZ is a street bike, but at the end of the day, it's really just kind of a dorky enduro bike that works downright pretty well on the trails. A heck of a lot better than the term street bike might lead you to believe. I had a great time at Singletrack like this, and I'm not going to hesitate to find more of it in the future of my DRZ. Well, assuming the bike doesn't blow up.
Sketchy, sandy, loose downhill. Am I signed up for this? Really? Yeah, that's fine. Maybe try to hit some. Oh, look at that trail.
Sure, the DRZ400 might not be a purpose-built, Austrian-made dirt bike like any of the KTM, Husqvarna, or Gas models are, but you know what? It's pretty darn fun. It can still handle a lot of dirt riding, and as I get some better tires on here, better gearing, soften up the suspension more for my little 170 pounds, I think it's gonna make a really cool second bike to my KTM. I've noticed there's a very strong DRZ community out here, so thank you all for joining me. I'm excited to do some really cool adventure rides on this thing this spring. And if you like what you see on this channel, click that red subscribe button. Let me know in the comments, have you ridden in the Mojave Desert on your DRZ, and would you consider the DRZ a desert bike? All right, guys, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next video.